So the first one is love. And what does love mean? And here I'm talking from a very practical, very pragmatic, down-to-earth approach towards life. Love. Whatever you are doing in your life, love to do it. It's a very important aspect. If you are not doing what you want to do, stop complaining, stop whining, stop grumbling. It doesn't help you in any way to have these undesirable emotions. Very simple. And maturity, you should grow enough that you start loving what you have to do. If you're doing something that you don't like, force yourself. And forcing yourself, it means being grateful. You've got something to do. It's tremendously better than being at home and doing nothing and annoying other people's lives. It's the basics. Now, the question is, if I'm not doing what I want to do, what can I do? You can continue doing what you're doing and simultaneously find a way of going towards what you want to do. Aware of the fact that what you want to do is going to change. When you're 12 years old, what you want to do with your life is completely different than what you want to do when you're 20 years old. When you're 30 years old, when you're 50 years old, when you're 60 years old. Because life is dynamic. Our desires are very fleeting and transient. But this capacity of forcing ourselves to do our best in whatever we are doing at that specific time gives us at least self-satisfaction. It's to go home, look at yourself in the mirror in the evening or before you go to bed, and naturally a spontaneous smile comes out of your face. Wow, today was a great day. Why was it? Because I did the best I could with the resources and knowledge and skills that I had. Period. What is the immediate impact of this attitude? Self-respect, self-confidence, self-motivation. You do it one day, next day when you wake up in the morning, you got more energy than the previous day. You repeat it, next day, even more vitality. And then eventually, you start having enough resources of energy to pursue other things. Because you feel all right with yourself. Well, I can do there and try it. I may fail, yes, but I tried. I will succeed, yes, hopefully. Meanwhile, you can start creating a support system. Support system oftentimes is family and friends, right? It should always be wife and husband if you're married. It's the minimum support system. If you don't get that support, you should review your choice. Review your choices means have a conversation. Talk it through. Sometimes the person is not aware of it. That's why communication is the basics of any relationship. Because you also change as time goes by, right? It requires a lot of tolerance, accommodation. We were discussing about this the other day, right? But this is the basics. Love what you do. Force yourself. Because by forcing yourself, you grow, you mature, you become a better person. Otherwise, you remain the same, no change. It's a waste of life. Oh, I'm the same person I was 20 years ago. Well, don't judge the person, but you can be, wow. Good luck next life then, if you believe in that. Secondly, learning. Devote yourself to learning. Whatever you are doing, learn as much as possible about it. You have to be all over as far as knowledge is concerned. Then working will never be boring. Because you're always learning. And there is always something else to learn. About the tools you use, about the role you're playing. And it's not only our professional lives. It's our emotional and loving life as well. You can learn how to be a son, daughter, a husband and a wife, father and a mother. We discussed before, a few minutes ago, most parents, they don't know anything about parenting. And they don't try to know. So it's trial and error with a child. We live in an era where there are thousands of books on parenting. And yet, we've never seen such a high number of children doing therapy. Children being sad. I get amazed nowadays, when I meet some young people, and they're going to university, and they say they are sad. It doesn't get into my mind this fact. When I was at the university, I had the best time of my life. Wild, probably, but the best time. You are free. You're all over. There are no limits. You think you're on top of the world. You have solution for everything. Why? Because you want to learn. And you live in an environment which is extremely conducive for that. You have friends you study business, you have friends from medicine, from law, from engineering, from design. You're always learning because each one are sharing their experiences. You don't have time to be depressed, for God's sake. There is no boredom. This same attitude We have to carry on throughout our lives. If we are working, as we were saying before, and we're not doing what we want to do, learn about it. Transform this into an interesting task. Expand yourself. The basics. What do I have to do? When do I have to do? How do I do it? What are the consequences of what I'm doing? If you do that, going to work, going to the university, or going around doing whatever you have to do, it's always interesting. There is no such a thing as, oh, I'm gonna go to work today. Routine disappears. And the possibilities for learning are endless. Endless. Especially in a very complex world. At work, we're managers, we're managed by people, we interact with competitors, we fall into a legal system, tax system, economic system, political system. Emotionally, we relate to our husbands or wives and children and parents. Spiritually, we have our own beliefs. It's so many things to learn. That's why I can't think how people get depressed. Of course, I understand why it happens. Consistently wrong thinking leads to depression. Because if you don't think, you don't get depressed. It's thinking, brooding about the same problem over and over and over. Boom. Sinks into a dark room of lethargy. You have to get out of that box. And learning. In the beginning, force yourself. The first one, love what you do. Second, learn about what you're doing, or what you want to do, or all the things that you do in your life, all the roles that you play in your life. Try to broaden your perspective. Try to see whether you can put them together and make yourself one single person. Do not split the roles. I've seen people around saying that you should behave in this way at home, you should behave in this way with your friends, and you behave this way at work. Avoid doing that. That's my recommendation. Because you create conflicts within your own essence. Be aware of your main personality. And if it's a good one, manifest it everywhere. So you don't have to, here I have to behave this way, there I have to do that, here I have to do this. No. It's one and the same. Makes life easier for you and for everyone around. Learn about these things. The third one, implement. Put into practice what you know, what you have studied, what you have acquired. Because it's good for you. It's helpful to you. Implementation basically tells you that what you have learned, it is right or wrong. Some people say, oh, this is theoretical knowledge and this is practice. Right? When you get into a company right after you graduate, many people come with these foolish thoughts to you. Oh, you just know theoretical knowledge. Yeah, but this is knowledge. Reality only proves or disproves that what you know is right or wrong. So put into practice that. Very important. Actually, many times, accidents and desires, they happen because the person who knows and the person who is doing are not the same. In other words, what the person was supposed to do, he knew he was supposed to do, he didn't do. Because of sheer laziness. Not implementing what he knew. Train accident. Every single day he goes there, he changes the switch so the track goes the other way. It becomes a routine. Boring because he doesn't want to learn from that experience that he knows about it. And then he neglects the basics. Didn't change the switch, didn't move the track. If you go to the root cause of all the problems in life, when people start analyzing, what was it? Human error. Even machines, when you program machines and something goes wrong, it's because somewhere, someone down the line did something. So there has to be a congruence, a convergence of the knower and the doer. They have to be the same. All the time. If you learn about psychology, if you want to learn about spirituality, if you learn about financial investment, if you learn about taxes, if you want about import, export, how to build up, whatever you're doing, have a furniture shop, be a designer, be a doctor, put into practice as much as you can. Implement it. Oh no, I'm not going to do it because I don't like that person. Everyone knows that being kind and respectful, it's a great thing. Why? Because we like that others treat us in this way. However, sometimes, deliberately, we omit this behavior towards other people. And at the end of the day, we are harming no one else but ourselves. And what does that mean? We are not implementing what we have learned. And it creates a conflict. Basic human conflict that blows our self-esteem, blows our self-respect. We split ourselves and scatter ourselves all over, and then we try to put the pieces together. So love what you do, learn as much as possible with everything you do in your life, but into practice. Implement. Very practical, down to earth, to any pursuit you have in your life. What else? Focus. Concentrate. Pay attention. Be present in whatever you are doing at any time. Many people, they say, I'm multitasking.